Why America is great. An immigration nation's heritage, the United States of America stands as one of history's most ambitious experiments in nation-building, distinguished fundamentally by its identity as a nation of immigrants. Unlike most countries whose national identities evolved from shared ethnicity, language, or ancient territorial claims, America constructed itself deliberately around an idea that people from anywhere could become American. This unique foundation has shaped every aspect of American development, from its economic dynamism to its cultural innovations, from its political institutions to its global influence. To understand why America is great, one must first understand that its greatness is inseparable from its immigration heritage. The story of American achievement is fundamentally the story of people arriving from elsewhere, bringing their talents, ambitions, and dreams to build something unprecedented. This is not mere historical curiosity, but ongoing reality. As of 2024, the United States remains home to more international migrants than any other country, with approximately 51 million foreign-born residents comprising roughly 15.6% of the total population. This script explores how immigration has functioned as America's perpetual renewal mechanism, continuously injecting fresh energy, diverse perspectives, and innovative thinking into the national fabric. From the colonial period through the present day, newcomers have not merely joined American society, but have actively constructed and reconstructed it, generation after generation. The foundation: building a nation from scratch. The United States was born from immigration. The 13 colonies that would become the original states were themselves immigrant settlements, established by English, Dutch, Swedish, French, and other European colonists throughout the 17th and 18th centuries. But even in these early years, America was remarkably diverse. By the time of the Revolution, the colonies included not only English settlers, but substantial German, Scots-Irish, Dutch, French Huguenot, and other populations, alongside enslaved Africans and indigenous peoples. This diversity created immediate practical challenges. How could people of different languages, religions, and customs form a cohesive political community? The answer developed gradually but profoundly through shared commitment to certain political principles rather than shared ancestry. The Declaration of Independence articulated universal human rights, not rights belonging to any particular ethnic group. The Constitution established a framework for self-government that could theoretically include anyone willing to participate in its processes. This was revolutionary. Most nations throughout history define membership through bloodline. You were French because your ancestors were French, Japanese because your ancestors were Japanese. America proposed something different. You could become American by choice, by embracing certain ideals and participating in certain institutions. This principle, however imperfectly applied in practice, established immigration as central to American identity from the very beginning. The early republic actively encouraged immigration. The Naturalization Act of 1790 established a relatively straightforward path to citizenship for free white persons who had resided in the country for 2 years. States competed to attract immigrants, offering land grants and other incentives. Political leaders from George Washington to Thomas Jefferson viewed immigration as essential to populating the vast territory and developing its resources. Between 1820 and 1880, over 10 million immigrants arrived, predominantly from Northern and Western Europe. Germans fled political upheaval and economic hardship, forming communities throughout the Midwest that would become centers of brewing, manufacturing, and agriculture. Irish immigrants, driven by the catastrophic potato famine of the 1840s, concentrated in urban areas where they built the infrastructure of industrializing America, constructed canals and railroads, and gradually established themselves in politics and public service. These waves of immigration coincided with American territorial and economic expansion. As the country spread westward, immigrants provided the labor and entrepreneurial energy to settle new territories, establish farms and ranches, build towns and cities. The California Gold Rush of 1849 attracted fortune seekers from around the world, including significant numbers of Chinese immigrants who would later prove essential to constructing the Transcontinental Railroad. The Great Wave, 1880 to 1924. The period from 1880 to 1924 witnessed the largest wave of immigration in American history in absolute numbers. More than 25 million people arrived during these decades, fundamentally transforming American society. Unlike earlier immigration, which came predominantly from Northern and Western Europe, this new wave originated largely in Southern and Eastern Europe, Italy, Poland, Russia, Austria, Hungary, Greece, and other nations. These immigrants arrived in an America rapidly industrializing and urbanizing. They provided the massive labor force required for factories, mines, and mills. In steel towns like Pittsburgh, meatpacking centers like Chicago, textile mills in New England, and garment factories in New York, immigrant workers formed the backbone of industrial production that would make America the world's leading economic power by the early 20th century. The contributions extended far beyond manual labor. Immigrants established businesses that would become household names. In 1903, Milton Hershey, son of German-speaking Mennonite immigrants, founded the Hershey Chocolate Company. Adolphus Busch, a German immigrant, co-founded Anheuser-Busch. The Guggenheim family, Jewish immigrants from Switzerland, built a mining and smelting empire. Samuel Goldwyn, born Smul Gelbfis in Poland, became one of Hollywood's founding moguls. This era also saw crucial contributions to American intellectual and cultural life. Many who would become leading scientists, artists, and thinkers arrived as immigrants or children of immigrants. The diversity of perspectives and experiences enriched American universities, artistic movements, and scientific research. However, this period also revealed tensions inherent in America's immigrant identity. The sheer scale and cultural difference of the new arrivals provoked nativist backlash. Organizations like the Immigration Restriction League argued that Southern and Eastern Europeans were racially inferior and unassimilable. These sentiments culminated in the Immigration Act of 1924, which established national origin quotas heavily favoring Northern and Western Europeans while severely restricting others. Yet even during restriction, the Immigrant Foundation continued supporting American development. Children of immigrants from this great wave would come of age during the New Deal and World War II, serving in the military, working in war industries, and participating fully in mid-century American prosperity. Innovation and entrepreneurship. The immigrant advantage. One of America's most significant strengths has been its capacity for innovation and entrepreneurship. And immigration has been central to this capacity. Immigrants have historically started businesses at higher rates than native-born Americans. As of 2022, immigrants represent roughly 13.5% of the population, but own nearly 20% of incorporated businesses. The reasons for elevated immigrant entrepreneurship are complex. Selection effects matter. People willing to undertake the difficult journey of immigration often possess high levels of ambition, risk tolerance, and determination. Barriers also play a role. Facing discrimination or credential recognition problems in traditional employment, many immigrants turn to self-employment. Cultural factors contribute as well, as immigrant communities often maintain strong networks of mutual support that facilitate business formation. The economic impact is substantial. According to research from the National Foundation for American Policy, as of 2023, immigrants have founded more than 50% of American startup companies valued at $1 billion or more. These unicorn companies include household names across technology, finance, healthcare, and other sectors. In Silicon Valley, the global center of technological innovation, the immigrant presence is overwhelming. A 2022 study found that immigrants or children of immigrants founded approximately 60% of top tech companies in the region. Companies like Google, co-founded by Russian immigrant Sergey Brin, or Zoom, founded by Chinese immigrant Eric Yuan, represent just the tip of a massive iceberg of immigrant-driven innovation. Beyond the most celebrated examples, immigrants contribute throughout the innovation ecosystem. They represent approximately 30% of all patent applications in the United States, despite being 13.5% of the population. In fields like engineering and computer science, immigrants earn a disproportionate share of advanced degrees and comprise a large percentage of the workforce. The broader pattern holds across industries and eras. Andrew Carnegie, Scottish immigrant, revolutionized steel production. Joseph Pulitzer, Hungarian immigrant, transformed American journalism. And Wang, Chinese immigrant, pioneered computer technology. Vinod Khosla, Indian immigrant, co-founded Sun Microsystems and became one of venture capital's most successful investors. Elon Musk, South African immigrant, has founded or led companies in online payments, electric vehicles, and space exploration. This pattern continues in 2024 and 2025. Recent data indicates that immigrants continue starting businesses at elevated rates, continue earning patents disproportionately, and continue founding a majority of the most valuable new companies. The immigrant entrepreneurial advantage appears not as historical artifact, but as ongoing phenomenon. Scientific achievement and Nobel laureates. American scientific preeminence owes an enormous debt to immigration. The United States has won more Nobel Prizes than any other country, and immigrants have been crucial to this achievement. Since the Nobel Prize's inception in 1901, American laureates have included hundreds of immigrants or children of immigrants. The pattern became especially pronounced beginning in the 1930s. As fascism rose in Europe, Jewish scientists and intellectuals fled persecution. The United States became primary destination for this refugee brain drain. Albert Einstein, already famous when he arrived in 1933, became perhaps the most celebrated immigrant scientist. But he was joined by Edward Teller, Enrico Fermi, John von Neumann, Hans Bethe, and numerous others who would prove instrumental to American scientific and technological advancement. These refugee scientists made decisive contributions to American victory in World War II through the Manhattan Project and other defense research. After the war, they populated American universities and research institutions, training the next generation of American scientists and engineers. Their presence helped establish American leadership in physics, chemistry, mathematics, and related fields that persists to the present. The pattern has continued through subsequent decades. Between 2000 and 2024, approximately 40% of American Nobel Prize winners in chemistry, medicine, and physics were immigrants. Immigrants continue to play a crucial role in American scientific achievement, with multiple immigrant scientists receiving Nobel Prizes in recent years. Immigration contributes to American science not only through individual genius, but through creating diverse research environments where people from different educational backgrounds and intellectual traditions collaborate. Studies have shown that scientific research teams with members from varied national backgrounds tend to produce more innovative and impactful work than homogeneous teams. American universities, which dominate global rankings, depend heavily on international students and faculty. In graduate programs in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, international students frequently comprise 40 to 70% of enrollment. Many of these students remain in the United States after graduation, joining research institutions, technology companies, or starting their own ventures. The immigration-science connection creates virtuous cycles. American openness to international talent attracts the world's brightest minds. These individuals produce groundbreaking research, often in collaboration with colleagues from diverse backgrounds. Their success attracts more talent, while they mentor students who continue innovative traditions. This process has helped make American universities and research institutions the world's most productive and influential. Cultural vitality and artistic innovation. Immigration has profoundly enriched American cultural life, making the United States a global cultural powerhouse whose music, film, literature, and art influence people worldwide. This cultural vitality emerges directly from the mixing of diverse traditions, perspectives, and creative approaches that immigration enables. American music provides perhaps the clearest example. Jazz, arguably America's most distinctive musical contribution, emerged from African American communities, but developed through constant cultural exchange and incorporation of diverse influences. Irving Berlin, Russian Jewish immigrant, became one of America's greatest songwriters, composing God Bless America and White Christmas, among hundreds of other classics. The music industry more broadly has depended heavily on immigrant talent and immigrant audiences whose tastes shaped American popular music. Hollywood illustrates the pattern dramatically. The major movie studios that dominated 20th century American cinema were founded primarily by Jewish immigrants from Eastern Europe. The Warner Brothers, Louis B. Mayer, Samuel Goldwyn, William Fox, and others. These immigrant entrepreneurs built an industry that would spread American culture globally while providing entertainment and employment to millions. Behind and in front of cameras, immigrants and their children have been central to American film. Directors from Frank Capra to Ang Lee, actors from Charlie Chaplin to Lupita Nyong'o, screenwriters, cinematographers, and others have brought diverse perspectives and talents to American cinema, helping create the world's most influential film industry. American literature has similarly benefited from immigrant voices. From Isaac Bashevis Singer to Jhumpa Lahiri, from Viet Thanh Nguyen to Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, immigrant writers have enriched American letters with stories reflecting the complexity of American experience. Even writers not themselves immigrants, like John Steinbeck or Toni Morrison, often centered their work on exploring American diversity and the encounters between different cultural traditions. The visual arts, dance, theater, architecture, and cuisine have all been transformed by immigration. Bauhaus designers fleeing Nazi Germany revolutionized American architecture and design. Dancers and choreographers from around the world have made New York a global dance capital. American cuisine, once derided as bland and uninteresting, has become extraordinarily diverse and sophisticated through incorporation of culinary traditions from every continent. This cultural diversity has economic dimensions too. The creative industries, from entertainment to design to advertising, employ millions and generate hundreds of billions in revenue annually. Cultural exports, including films, music, and television programming, earn tens of billions yearly while shaping how people worldwide view America. More fundamentally, cultural diversity enriches daily life for all Americans. The availability of authentic cuisines from dozens of countries, the celebration of various cultural festivals and traditions, the opportunity to experience art and music from multiple traditions, all contribute to quality of life and broaden horizons for native-born and immigrant Americans alike. Economic dynamism and labor. Market contributions. Immigration's economic impact extends beyond entrepreneurship and innovation to encompass fundamental labor market contributions. Immigrants fill crucial roles throughout the economy, from agriculture to healthcare, from construction to technology, often in positions that would otherwise remain vacant. In agriculture, immigrants comprise an estimated 73% of farm workers as of 2024. These workers harvest fruits and vegetables, tend livestock, and perform the physically demanding tasks that feed America and much of the world. Without immigrant labor, American agriculture would face severe labor shortages that would drive up food prices and potentially reduce domestic production. Healthcare provides another critical example. As of 2021, approximately 18% of healthcare workers were immigrants, including more than 26% of physicians and surgeons, and approximately 17% of registered nurses. In some specialties and regions, these percentages are much higher. Immigrant healthcare workers have been essential to American responses to public health challenges, working throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, often in high-risk settings. The construction industry relies heavily on immigrant labor, with immigrants representing roughly 25% of all construction workers nationally, and much higher percentages in major metropolitan areas. Immigrant workers build homes, commercial buildings, and infrastructure that support economic growth and quality of life. Technology companies, as noted earlier, employ immigrants extensively in engineering, software development, and related fields. Financial services, education, hospitality, and numerous other industries similarly depend on immigrant workers across skill levels. Economic research generally finds that immigration provides net benefits to the American economy. Immigrants expand the labor force, allowing more total production. They often fill complementary roles to native-born workers rather than directly substituting for them, meaning native workers frequently benefit from immigrant presence through expanded business activity and job creation. Immigrant entrepreneurship creates opportunities for native-born workers. Immigrant consumption expands markets and supports business growth. Studies by organizations ranging from the Congressional Budget Office to the National Academies of Sciences have concluded that immigration produces positive fiscal impacts over the long term, as immigrants, and especially their children, pay more in taxes than they receive in public benefits. A 2023 Congressional Budget Office report projected that increased immigration would boost economic growth substantially over the coming decade. At the individual level, immigration enables economic mobility and improves living standards. People migrate to improve their lives and typically succeed in doing so, earning higher incomes and accessing better opportunities than in their origin countries. Their children generally experience further upward mobility, accessing education and careers that lead to middle-class and upper-middle-class achievement. This economic integration benefits everyone. Broader prosperity means expanded markets for businesses, more tax revenue for public services, more resources for research and development, and greater national wealth that can address challenges and seize opportunities. Military service and civic contribution. Immigrants and their children have served in American military forces since the Revolutionary War, often at higher rates than their share of the population. This military service represents perhaps the most fundamental form of civic contribution, a willingness to risk one's life in defense of the nation. During the Civil War, approximately 25% of Union forces were immigrants, predominantly German and Irish. These immigrant soldiers fought to preserve the Union and, increasingly as the war progressed, to end slavery. Their service helped legitimize their community's place in American society despite facing significant prejudice. World War I saw massive immigrant participation. Italian, Polish, Jewish, and other recent immigrants served alongside longer-established Americans. The shared sacrifice of military service helped integrate these communities more fully into American life, though prejudice certainly persisted. World War II represented a crucial test of American pluralism. Japanese Americans, facing severe discrimination and mass incarceration, nonetheless volunteered for military service in large numbers, with units like the 442nd Regimental Combat Team becoming among the war's most decorated. German and Italian Americans, also viewed with suspicion, served loyally. The Navajo code talkers used their indigenous language to create unbreakable codes crucial to Pacific operations. Subsequent conflicts have continued seeing strong immigrant participation. As of 2023, approximately 7% of active duty military personnel were not United States citizens, serving while awaiting naturalization. Many thousands more are naturalized citizens or children of immigrants. Military service often provides a pathway to citizenship. The expedited naturalization process for military members has enabled tens of thousands of service members to become citizens, with naturalization ceremonies sometimes conducted in combat zones. This recognition of service reflects the deep connection between military contribution and civic membership. Beyond military service, immigrants participate extensively in civic life. Naturalized citizens vote at rates comparable to native-born citizens. Immigrants and their children engage in community organizations, religious institutions, schools, and local government. They contribute to charitable causes and volunteer their time and talents to improve their communities. The integration process typically accelerates across generations. First-generation immigrants often maintain strong connections to origin countries while establishing themselves economically. Their children, growing up in America, generally identify strongly as American while maintaining appreciation for parental heritage. By the third generation, most descendants of immigrants are linguistically and culturally indistinguishable from other Americans, though they may retain elements of ancestral identity. This pattern of integration and contribution demonstrates that America is success as an immigration nation does not require immigrants to abandon their backgrounds, but rather to add American identity and commitment to whatever they brought with them, creating a richer, more diverse whole. Demographic vitality and future prosperity. Immigration addresses a crucial challenge facing many developed nations: demographic aging. As birth rates decline and life expectancies increase, the ratio of working-age people to retirees shrinks, creating fiscal and economic pressures. Countries like Japan and many European nations face severe demographic challenges that threaten economic growth and strain public finances. The United States faces similar pressures, but substantially mitigated by immigration. Without immigration, America's population would already be declining, as native-born fertility rates have fallen below replacement level. Immigration provides younger workers who expand the labor force, support economic growth, and contribute tax revenue that helps fund Social Security, Medicare, and other programs serving aging populations. Current projections from the Census Bureau indicate that immigration will be responsible for all or nearly all American population growth over coming decades. By 2060, the foreign-born share of population could reach nearly 20% if current trends continue. This demographic infusion helps ensure continued economic vitality and fiscal sustainability. Immigrant families tend to be younger than native-born families, with higher birth rates. Children of immigrants born in the United States are American citizens from birth, fully entitled to all rights and opportunities. These second-generation Americans typically achieve high levels of educational and economic success, contributing productively throughout their lives. The diversity immigration creates also prepares America for an increasingly interconnected global economy. Americans who speak multiple languages, understand different cultural contexts, and maintain connections across borders provide competitive advantages in international business, diplomacy, and cultural exchange. As of 2024, more than 67 million Americans speak languages other than English at home, representing resources for global engagement. Looking forward, maintaining America's position as destination of choice for global talent remains crucial to continued prosperity. Countries worldwide increasingly compete for skilled workers, creating more options for potential migrants. Australia, Canada, and various European nations have developed immigration systems explicitly designed to attract talent. China and India, historically major sources of emigrants, increasingly retain their best and brightest as domestic opportunities improve. America maintains advantages in this global competition for talent, including the world's leading universities, most dynamic economy, strongest tradition of innovation and entrepreneurship, and established immigrant communities that ease adjustment for newcomers. But these advantages cannot be taken for granted. Immigration policy, cultural attitudes toward newcomers, and economic opportunities all influence whether talented individuals choose America or alternatives. Conclusion: the ongoing promise. Why is America great? Any honest answer must acknowledge American failings alongside achievements, the gaps between ideals and reality, the unfinished work of creating a more perfect union. But among America's genuine greatness is its identity as an immigration nation, its success at incorporating people from everywhere into a shared national project. This success was never inevitable. Ethnic diversity often produces conflict rather than cooperation. Building common identity across profound differences requires intentional effort and institutional structures that balance unity with pluralism. America has often fallen short, denying equal treatment to immigrants, imposing unjust restrictions, allowing prejudice to persist. The American immigration story includes Chinese exclusion, the national origins quota system, Japanese internment, and contemporary debates over undocumented immigration that often generate more heat than light. Yet the long arc bends toward inclusion. Barriers that once seemed insurmountable fell. Groups once excluded gained acceptance. The definition of who could become American expanded from free white persons to encompass everyone regardless of race, religion, or national origin. The lived reality of diversity gradually normalized what once seemed threatening or impossible. In 2025, America remains what it has always been, a work in progress, an experiment in whether people of radically different backgrounds can form genuine political community. The evidence suggests they can and do. Walk through any major American city and observe the extraordinary diversity conducting daily life together, mostly peacefully and productively. Visit American universities where students from dozens of countries study together. Enter American businesses where colleagues from every continent collaborate to serve customers and create value. This is not utopia. Prejudice persists. Economic inequality creates barriers. Policy disputes produce genuine conflicts, but the fundamental achievement endures. America has proven that national greatness does not require ethnic homogeneity, that diversity can be a source of strength rather than weakness, that people can become American not through bloodline, but through choice and commitment. The immigration heritage makes America distinctive and makes America great. It drives innovation and entrepreneurship. It fills crucial economic roles and creates prosperity. It enriches culture and expands perspectives. It provides demographic vitality and future promise. It embodies the principle that human potential knows no boundaries of birth or background. Other nations possess advantages America lacks. Longer histories, stronger social cohesion, more generous welfare states, less political polarization. But no large nation has matched America's success at incorporating diverse peoples into common cause. This remains a model for an increasingly interconnected world where people, ideas, and goods flow across borders in unprecedented volume. The question facing America is not whether immigration shaped the past, that is beyond dispute, but whether immigration will continue shaping the future. Will America maintain openness to global talent? Will it create pathways for immigrants to contribute and succeed? Will it embrace diversity as strength or retreat into nostalgia for a homogeneous past that never truly existed? These choices will determine whether American greatness persists or fades, whether the American experiment continues or concludes. The nation's immigration heritage is not mere history, but living legacy, a renewable resource that can power continued achievement if Americans choose to embrace it. This is what makes America great. Not perfection, but aspiration. Not stasis, but dynamism. Not exclusion, but the radical notion that anyone, from anywhere, can become American and help write the next chapter of the American story.